Hello YouTube, it's your boy Sean Matrai here with the Rokket video. Now, if you've never played Rokket before, I'm going to teach you how to play it. Now, tomorrow morning we will be cogging with this as the start of the new season comes to us. So yeah, if you don't want to miss that, follow me on Twitch and subscribe to me on YouTube. But I'm going to teach you how the Rokket deck works. So we're going to go over this in 3 different phases. We're going to talk about the level, the Rockets themselves, then the Dragons, and then the tech cards in the extra deck. So starting out with the Rockets themselves, first we have a package of Tracer, Quick Launch, and Magna Rocket, Exploder Rocket. So basically what you need to know, I'm going to make this short and sweet, is all the rockets except for Tracer, when destroyed by battle or card effect, will float in the end phase into another rocket. Also, they have additional effects when targeted by the effect of a Link monster. For example, Exploder Rocket will burn both players by 1,000, and Magna Rocket will send non-targeting one monster in the field to the graveyard. So keep in mind that if your opponent only has one monster, say a Borrel Furious on the field, then and you target and you activate Magna Rocket and you attempt to send that, and they chain and destroy their Borrel Furious, and they destroy it before Magna Rocket can resolve, that means you're going to have to send one of your own monsters. So make sure that your opponent can't clear their field before your Magna Rocket resolves. Okay, so that's very, very important. Okay, so on to Tracer. So Tracer is a bit different. Tracer allows you to quick effect during either player's turn, target one face-up card in the field, destroy that card, and then float into a rocket outside your deck. Not outside, inside your deck. So Rocket Tracer will allow you to float into any of your rockets. But you have to target one card, face-up card on the field and destroy it. But you can chain it in response to that card's activation. For example, if you activate Quick Launch or Melody, you can activate Tracer the following chain link after, pop that said card, and summon a rocket out of the deck, which is a great way to summon Delicious Dragon. So we're going to talk about that. In Quick Launch, very simply just summons a rocket out of the deck. Nothing really to explain there. Okay, so that's the Rokket engine. Now we're going to talk about the level 8 dragons. So in order to talk about the level 8 dragons, we have to talk about the skill Borrel Link. So what Borrel Link does is this skill has 3 different words of text to it. So during the duel, you can normal summon monsters whose summon attack and defense equal 4,000 without tributing. So immediately, that means that their attack and defense are equal combined to 4,000 defense. You can summon these monsters without tribute. So double Disruptor Dragon can be done without tribute. Red Eyes, but you're going to special summon that, so it's irrelevant. Those are the 2 monsters, and Exploder Rocket Dragon. So those are the 3 monsters that really take and apply for that part of the skill. Okay? So you can normal summon those without tributing. Lancia, I know everyone's going to say, but Lancia equals 17 and 23. That's 4,000. Yeah, but the skill only restricts you into summoning Dark Cybers or Dark Dragons for the duel. Okay? So Lancia is not a Dark Dragon, so you're only able to set it. A normal summon is not treated as a set, so keep that in mind. You could also set those monsters that are some equal to 25 and 50, or some equal to 4,000. You could set them, so something like Exploder Rocket, Double Disruptor, Red Eyes can also be set. Also Lancia, as I said before. Okay, second part of the skill, you can reveal 1 level 7 or higher dragon monster in your hand, then Foolish Burial 2 level 7 or higher dragon monsters from your hand or deck to the grave, and add 1 monster whose summon for attack and defense is 4,000 from deck to hand. Okay, so immediately you're going to generally want to send your Double Disruptor to the graveyard, and generally your Galactic Spiral, unless you have some like odd case where you open up like Tracer plus Melody, or you open up like Quick Launch, then you can make plays that add Double Disruptor to your hand. I'll talk about them. But also what you need to know about the skill is that during the turn you use that part of the skill, it locks you into Link Summoning. Not the third effect, just that effect. Alright, will lock you into Link Summoning. So you can't activate Rapid Trigger that turn. Now another key point of this skill is that this could search Lancia, because its attack and defense does sum up to 4,000. So as you might see from other players in the ladder, yes, they do search Lancia. Also, third effect, if a monster is on your opponent's field or in their graveyard, play 1 Link 2 Borrel monster from your extra deck to your field. So if they control a monster, boom, free Link 2 Borrel monster, okay? You're going to summon out, generally, your quad Borrel Dragon for free, without even having to Link summon it, okay? And all these skills, the second and third effect, are once per duel, alright? So you need to know that. Now, let's talk about it. So now that we know we need to reveal any level 7 or higher dragon to trigger a skill, that means any level 8 or higher dragon is automatically what we call a starter for the skill in our deck. And those are Double Disrupted Dragon, Odd Eyes, Advanced Dragon, Levianeer, and our 2 Odd Exploder Rokket Dragons, as well as Galactic Spiral, our Erratic, and 3 Melody. Now, I know a lot of people are going to ask why this is in here. I'll tell you why in a second. But let's go over the brand new card, Double Disrupted Dragon. So if you don't know what this card does, it has 2 different effects. First effect, you contribute this card to then target 2 Rokket monsters in your graveyard with different names, special summon them in defense position. Alright, so immediately they have to be 2 different names, but this is great because you can combo into this. You could search this with specific hands. So for example, if I open up something like Melody and Tracer, I can activate my Melody of the Awakening Dragon, pitching my Rokket Tracer to the graveyard, adding 2 dragons, and then using the skill to search Double Disrupted Dragon to then play normal summon and summon Rokket Tracer from the graveyard, plus an Exploder Rokket that I sent off via skill. Also, let me put on some music that I totally forgot was on here. Give me 1 second. I totally forgot we were musicless. Sorry about that. So right away, we are able to do that. Alright, so Double Disruptor has that first effect. Now, the second effect of Double Disruptor, you can banish it from your graveyard to either add Rapid Trigger or Heavy Interlock from deck or graveyard to hand. Now, we don't play the Ritual in here because, personally, I think it's kind of pointless. I think they Flora out it really easily with like a Saga de Flora or Mind Control. And I also think decks like Shadol can out it by summoning a Construct from the graveyard, flipping up a Squamata, or a Dragon to deal with it. Now you might say, but Sean, it's unaffected by Monster Summon from the extra deck. No, it's not from the extra deck anymore. Because if they use Resh Shadol Incarnation, or a Falco, you're summoning it from the graveyard. Since you summon an extra deck monster from the graveyard, it's not being treated as being summoned from the extra deck anymore. And it's also bad in the mirror because when you use the second part of the skill to summon Quad Borrel from the extra deck for free, that is not treated as being summoned from the extra deck. So, as crazy as that might sound, that's the way it's being treated in the game. Next, we have Odd Eyes Advanced Dragon. Now, Odd Eyes Advanced Dragon can be tribute summoned by tributing a level 5 or higher dragon. When it's summoned this way, you can destroy, a level 5 or higher monster. When summoned this way, you can destroy 1 monster on the field and burn your opponent for half of that attack. So, 1 monster they control. So, if you destroy a Blue Eyes White Dragon, non-targeting, 1500 burn damage. If you destroy an Exploder Rokket, 1000. You get the point. And then, when this destroys a monster in battle, you can target 1 level 5 or higher monster from your graveyard, special summon, and defense. Or hand. But that's never going to be from hand, always from grave. Next, the Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Cannot be normal summon or set, must be first special summon by banishing a combined number of 3 light and dark monsters, and you gain effects based on those monsters that you banished, and plus this card cannot attack during the turn you activated this effect. So for example, if you banish 3 lights, you get to revive a monster from your graveyard. You banish 3 darks, you get to hand rip your opponent for 1. And if you banish combined 3 light and dark monsters, you get to non-target destroy 2 cards in your opponent's field. And if they don't respond directly to the Levianeer's effect, you can pop them without them having a secondary chance to say, uh-oh, we don't know what you're destroying. Okay, so Levianeer is really good against Blue Eyes because you can counter Successor Soul and counter Crackdown with it and force them to activate Ultimate Fusion when they don't have a Lancia in hand. So a really good card, and we can pair that up with Lancia, Melody as well. Now, going on further to our level 8 dragons, we want Galactic Spiral, which basically, while in hand or grave, while you control 2 dark or light dragons, free special summon to your field. Then Exploder Rokket Dragon can, like I said, it's just the starter we already went over. And this is here because we don't want to run Blue Eyes because the decks like Zombie Reborn and Zombies and Flora that can play IDP. We don't want to give them a free 3000 beater. This means the same in this deck anyway. So we just run Erratic Sin, Dragon, Overlord just as a 0 body so they don't gain any attack value from it. Now, Red Eyes Meteor Dragon, if you don't know what this does, basically you can search this with the skill. You can special summon this from your hand by sending Erratic Ball to the deck to the graveyard or Blue Eyes if you play it. And then basically this is a free body on the field that just gets a light in the grave for Levianeer. Now another starter we have in the deck is Melody of the Awakening Dragon. Just basically searches any monsters who has 3000 or more attack and 2500 or less defense. You discard 1 to search 2. Now, you're going to most likely discard a card to get a starters to your hand. You're going to search a Levianeer. Generally going second, it's better because you're searching Levianeer and Odd Eyes Advance to really push and break your opponent's field. Now, another thing that I want to bring up about Melody in this deck is that the double disruptor lines. Now, in order for you to want to search double disruptor over Red Eyes, Meteor Dragon, or Lancia, you're going to want to open up generally your Melody of the Awakening Dragon or your Quick Launch. So if you have Melody and Tracer, what you could do is activate Melody, pitch Tracer to add 2 dragons. Then you're going to activate your skill to send your Exploder Rocket and Spiral to the grave and search your double disruptor. So that way you can normal double disruptor, summon back Tracer and Exploder Rocket since they're 2 different names. And then to double disruptor hit the graveyard, you can manage it to search your rapid trigger. Or if you open up Quick Launch, you can activate Quick Launch, summon Tracer, Tracer pop itself, and summon another Rocket, and then do the same play. Since you have it normal summon, send Exploder and Spiral, search double disruptor, and summon it. Those are your double disruptor plays. And double disruptor's effects are a hard words per turn for each effect, so you can use both of those effects in the same turn. On top of that, we are running our tech cards, which are Chalice, Treacherous, Dark Hole, Veiler. Now, if you don't have these techs, I recommend Mourner over Veiler, because I think it's much better this format. But again, if you don't have these techs, just swap them in for what you have. If you don't have Chalice, play Book. But Chalice is really easy to get via box chips, dream tickets, whatever. I highly recommend, and sometimes half-off box sales. Highly recommend get 3 of it. It's an amazing tech right now in the meta. Absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend you get 3 of it. Okay. Now, going over the extra deck, first is Borrel, Furious Dragon. This you're going to summon with Rapid Trigger, and it takes 2 Dark Dragons. So, we didn't talk about Rapid Trigger. Basically, you fuse and summon a fusion monster by destroying monsters on your field. Now, keep in mind, since you are destroying your rockets, they will float. Also, that monsters being special summoned is unaffected by all monsters summoned for the extra deck. Remember what I said before. Things like Construct, summoned from the graveyard, would not be affected. Anything summoned from the graveyard, Borrel, including Quad Borrel Dragon, that's summoned off the skill. And anything like the Playmaker skill that allows you to summon from the Banished, that also won't be affected because that's not being summoned from the extra deck. But it's unaffected by anything summoned from the extra deck, which is still really strong. So, while on the field, quick effect, you can target 1 monster you control, and 1 card your opponent controls to destroy them. Now, since it says them, that means the destruction occurs at the same time. So, if you were to target another Borrel Furious Dragon that is unaffected, your Borrel Furious wouldn't die, and their monster would still die, or their card, because it destroys them at the same time. Said second effect does not, Borrel Furious Dragon does not need to fully resolve its effect to destroy your card, to destroy your opponent's, because it is a simultaneous destruction effect. Also, second effect, and these both can be used in the same turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Dark Link monster to your graveyard. Special summon it, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. This is a great way to revive back your one of your Link 2s, or your Borrel and Borrel, not Borrel, but yeah, Borrel and your Boro Sword Dragon, and just get free 3Ks on the field. You can also revive back World Gear, but this card only works, it's only protected by monster effects when it's Link summoned, so keep that in mind. Alright, but we run 2 of these because we can add Rapid Trigger from grave to hand due to both double disrupted dragons. Next, we run 1 Boro Sword. This really helps for OTKing. So if you don't know what Boro Sword does, it cannot be destroyed in battle. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 attack position monster, change its defense. Also, this can make a second attack during the battle phase. What's very important about this is that on summon, you have priority as long as you don't activate the effect on that summon. But if you on priority first want to activate the effect, you have priority to do so as quick effect priority, since it's a quick effect. And because Boro Sword and Borrel cannot be responded to, your opponent cannot chain Mourner or Veiler in response to that said effect, because they cannot be responded to and you have priority before they can activate any hand traps. Also, what's very important to note is Mourner doesn't work at all, because Mourner has to be activated right on the special summon. If not, you cannot use Mourner for the rest of the turn. So keep that in mind with the Rokket matchup. Alright, if your opponent's smart, they may try to activate immediately. Now what's also important about Boro Sword Dragon is it says also in the conjunction also. So their monster or whatever monster you target does not need to be changed to defense. So for example, but it actually has to have a legal target. Like for instance, you can't target a Link monster, and because that can't be changed to defense, it has to have a legal target. So for example, a good example is if you target Furious Dragon, that monster won't go to defense position because, well, unless you summon it from the graveyard and wait a turn. But if you summon it from the extra deck and you try to change it to defense, it won't because it's unaffected by the extra deck because of rapid trigger. However, it still will be able to attack twice because it's an also conjunction, which means it does not care if the first effect resolves fully or not correctly. Alright, now next, Borrel Dragon. I mean, the second effect of Boro Sword Dragon. Once per turn, when this declares an attack on a face-up monster, you could have that Boro Sword gain half the attack of the opponent's monster, and the opponent's monster loses half that attack. So great for OTKing. Next is Borrel Dragon. Again, this first effect dodges Mourner, and Veiler can't respond to it if you activate it immediately. Second effect, Borrel. Well, you can't Veil this anyway because it can't be targeted by monster effects or Mourner it. But when this card attacks an opponent's monster, non-target steal their monster and place it in this monster zone. But during the following end phase, it gets sent to the graveyard. This is great removal for non-targeting monsters and great to lethal with your opponent's monsters. Next, we have Decotalker, which is basically you contribute a monster that this card points to in your zone and negate the effect of a targeted card in your field, and also gains 500 attack for each monster it points to. Quad Borrel Dragon can be summoned off your skill. It's also willing to. Takes 2 dragons, including a Rokket, but you're never summoning it hard. You're always summoning it with skill. You can discard 1 card, target 1 face-up monster in the field. You cannot special summon Link 2 or lowest for the rest of the turn after you activate this. So don't try to use this effect and then summon Delindrous or Booster Dragon because it won't work. Or another Quad Borrel. Then target 1 face-up monster, destroy it. Then, if you destroy a Link monster, you can special summon Rockets with different names up to that monster's Link rating from your graveyard. Now, what's very important with this, or hand, what's very important with this is that you can pop your own Quad Borrel as well. And since it's a Link 2, revive 2 Rockets from the graveyard. Keep that in mind. In the Maya matchup, it's really important because if you pop their Yukiona, that's a Link 2, which they generally end on. You can pop it and revive back 2 Rockets. Really good. Next, we have World Gears, the Theological Demagy. All you need to know about this is the first effect. Basically, it's unaffected by monster effects. And it takes 3 level 5 or higher, which you cheat out with your Spiral, increasing everything to 8. Next is the Delindrous Dragon. This card can resummon itself when you summon a Rokket monster, so this is great to set up your Furious with, because when this is the graveyard, you float in the end phase, you get to summon this back, and this helps you make Borrel Dragon or Boro Sword. But what's also cool about this is that if your opponent has an attack position monster that they didn't attack with, the Delindrous Dragon can come back and pop that in the end phase. So that's really, really good. Okay, on to some replays. We had a 34-game win streak. I had an 80% win rate day 1 at the KC Cup, which we were clapping. Day 2, we had some bad luck because of a poor meta. But we had an 80% win rate day 1. We had a 34-game win streak in Platinum and Legend. And we also had a 90% win rate late through Legend. Enjoy the replay.
Activate my skill. I've returned to fight in the name of the Hanoi. They'll be Duel. I will crush you until you no longer exist. I activate my quick placement. The 2 Rocket Tracer activates. Exploder Rocket, double disruptor dragon. I activate double disruptor. I manifest my serpent. Link summon. Enter the duel. I hold dangerous.
Okay. Apparently I didn't save a ton of the replays. But we will keep it we'll keep it like this. I'm gonna show you a cool combo. I'm gonna have more replays tomorrow. I'll have more replays tomorrow. But I'm gonna show you the turn ones since I don't have cool replays. Alright, so this is your standard turn one that I was talking about. This is the play that sets up double disruptors since we opened up. Alright, this is the standard turn one with red eyes. So what we do is we're going to send our double disruptor to the graveyard. So I'm going to show you the first standard turn one. I'm going to add red eyes here. Now since you opened up Tracer, we're going to go ahead and send normal summon Tracer. And here you would search your rapid trigger, but we already have it. Now, since we opened up Tracer, we're going to go ahead and summon Spiral into Delingerous. And then at this point, what we do is we'd activate Rapid Trigger, then chain Tracer, popping our Rapid Trigger, summon another Rokket, fuse off Delingerous. I'll show you on our opponent's turn. So now it's his second. Pretend this is turn 2 now, and it's his turn. We're going to activate Rapid Trigger, chain our Tracer, pop Rapid Trigger, summon out a Rokket, make Borrel furious. Then we'll float in the end phase, pop Delingerous, and pop his card. And that's what we want to do. And then in the end phase, we get both Delingerous back and our Rokket float. So I'll show you right now. We're going to pop. Then we activate our Magna Rokket, summon back Tracer, summon back Delingerous, and then if they didn't attack, we get to pop their monster. And then from here, we could special summon our Freeling too. And make Boro if we want to. And back trigger. We could even link off the link too if we wanted to summon it off of our Furious. Or we can even do something like this. You could even pop the link too, use the effect to pop itself, and then revive back 2, and then revive back the quad Borrel to make 2 link 4s. Just different options. Against Agent, you'll find you can break their board easy. We might day 1 Cog with Rokket, because there's no new box, so we might go for full on Cog with Rokket. If I think there's going to be a lot of Agent cheaters, we might do that. So, be on the lookout for that. What better way to show you how to take down agents with this deck than to give you an on-stream demonstration? Okay. 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 Alright, Kodami, you're not gonna give me the hand I want. Alright. We'll take one more stab at this. Give me at least a quick launch, please, so I can show this off and not mess it up. Okay, perfect. Now just give me a level 8. Or I'll stall until we get a level 8, one or the other. Alright, it looks like we're stalling until I get a level 8. Don't pay attention to our life. I just love this game. Okay. Come on. Really? I want to show you this combo, but this is the last attempt I'm giving it. I have like 10 level 8s in the deck. Well, alright, come on. Finally! Alright. Pretend double disruptor's not in the hand and pretend that there's no monster. Well, there is a monster in the EMZ, but try to pretend there isn't any. We're going to send this, and we're going to send Exploder to the graveyard. If this is turn 1, we're going to add Red Eyes. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and activate Quick Launch, summoning Tracer. Pretend this is turn 1, don't even look at the EMZ. Then we go Tracer, pop itself, summon out a Rokket. Then we normal disrupt the dragon. Revive back Tracer and the Exploder Rokket that we sent. Now, pretending that there's no monster in the EMZ, we'd summon the Red Eyes at this point. Or, well, you would summon the Red Eyes later on. So, pretending that this is like, we could just use this and pretend that this isn't on the field anymore. Like the Exploder, we make Delingerous. So you'd have one less body here. You know what? I won't summon the Red Eyes just to show you how many bodies you will have. And then we'd be able to add the Rapid Trigger. So Red Eyes would technically be on the field and you wouldn't have Exploder on the field. But this is kind of what our turn 1 would look like at that point. We could even like summon Spiral and do more things. But overall, that we'd have this on the field. This wouldn't be here. And then we'd have 1, 2, and this on the field. And then we'd be able to get another body off Tracer during our opponent's turn because we chain a Rapid Trigger. And yeah, overall, really good turn 1. Alright, so that's going to be it for the video. I wanted to showcase you off of full combos what you could do. You could also do that with Melody discarding Tracer as well. And I'll show you more when we do our Rokket Cockline. Until next time, this is your boy, Sean Matrai, signing out. Have a good night. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. Subscribe on YouTube. There's a lot more content coming this month. We have the floor Rockets, more Shadol content coming, and hopefully new box content coming when they start dropping it. That's what I'm looking forward to doing, but we need more box content to do that. Until next time, this is your boy Sean Matrai, signing out. Love you guys. Peace.